Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Have It Out. The hashtag is LHIO. Right here on ENCA. I think today I had a conversation with a few of my friends on Twitter to say, are we a consuming nation? Are we ever going to get to a point where when it comes to distribution, we circulate within our ecosystem? Well, let's hear from one of our viewers. Jade on Twitter says, the biggest issue with distribution is the cut they want. You are lucky to walk away with 10% net after they done with you. Unfortunately, in the world of spirits production, there's not much profit to be made, and distributors know this, but capitalize on it. Okay, thank you, Jade, for the comment. And we turn our focus now to the liquor industry, which is very close to my heart. You know me, when it comes to fine wine and it's wedding season, call me. You want the best gin? Give me a call. On the line, we are joined by a good friend who I know as part of the black sommeliers in Southern Africa. There are very few. Now, let me give you something that you need to know. When you go into a five-star establishment and they have a sommelier, traditionally, these will be privileged white people who were accustomed to the industry of the grapes or making of wine. And over the past 10 years, we've seen a great amount of black people entering the space, but they too can't even have their own wine distributed. And the question is it because they don't produce quality or doesn't favor the buyers? Joining me, the director at the Saxon Hotel, Lloyd Jusa. Good evening to you, my brother. How you doing?
Touch, how you doing, man?
I know one thing for sure, you have the most extensive knowledge for wine. You taught me a lot about what I know about wines, and you yourself are engaged in the business. What is the difficulty with us black people producing products that upon, just conceptualization at the inception of it, we already have the likes of your Pick and Pay, Macro, Ultra Liquors waiting to take our products? Why do we have to go on the streets like DJ's booth selling off the back of our trucks and boots to try and get our products picked up? What's the problem?
Well, first of all, I didn't know about DJ's pool, but what I can say is, I think first things first, you've got to understand your demography. When you're coming up with a product and then you put it out there, you need to understand with the kind of demography you're going to deal with. Once you've got that sorted, then you can approach the right people, or you can go through the right buyers, and then you can set up meetings with them, and 9 out of 10 chances is that they'll put your product out there onto the right shelves.
Okay, but yeah. You said something quite significant. When you talk about white buyers, how is it still so in an industry, because without saying, black people are the majority in this country, aren't we producing black buyers to decide which products should make the shelf? Or is the value chain captured?
I think you misunderstood me there. I said right buyers, as in right buyers.
Right buyers.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. No,
but they're still white. I don't know any black buyer. I called Macro the other day. I said to Macro, I'd like to have a meeting with you. I'm producing one of the finest wines and gin that's selling. And till this day, they prefer international brands over local brands, which is part of the ones that I produce. So I think I am in my own right to make reference to white, because the industry is pro-white, but you may prove me wrong.
Well, because I'm not really in the distribution space, I think my organization and the people I represent, we're usually focusing on brands that we think relates to the kind of clientele we get. I am really not in a position to talk about
Fair enough.
the sort of demography that you're referring to.
But let's talk about, how did you become a sommelier? Who gives you the certification? What type of orientation you go through? Because it's quite intense. You can't wake up in the morning as Tbo Touch and decide to be a sommelier. Tell me about the process.
The good fortune is that a number of organizations are starting to step up. In South Africa, locally, you've got the Cape Wine Academy, and that only deals with local accreditation. But for those who have access to international resources, you can always join the WSET, which is the Wine and Spirit Education Trust. They have got an international curriculum which has got a strong following, and it goes all the way up to diploma level, and so it consists of 4 levels.
Right.
I went on a different route, however. I was part of the Court of Master Sommeliers, and there's only 2 chapters, one in the UK and then the other one in the USA. So
Okay.
I pursued that particular chapter.
So, Lloyd,
Yeah.
to me, you are a well-qualified individual to ask or throw this question. With all this great, extensive knowledge you've acquired in the business, have you ever thought of producing your own wine? Because your business is to probably grade the quality of the wines that are out there. But I want to ask you, have you ever produced your own, and is it available anywhere nationwide?
No, I can tell you, no, I haven't produced any product that I've put out there. I think my role has been more like a critic. You know, I have the good fortune of tasting hundreds and thousands of wines every year, so I think my speciality as of now is to ensure that I make sure that I share all of my knowledge with a lot of people out there, and to make sure that I give them all the information that they would like to know about any product out there. So no, you won't be seeing any Lloyd Jusa wine out there anytime soon. I think the most probable thing that you'll come across is a book that I would have put out there, but no wine or any beverage product for consumption.
I want to throw a quick question before we let you go. What determines one's product to land on your highly prestigious menu? Because the Saxon menu is known for being very exclusive, and it's the upper echelon in the hospitality business. How do I make it?
You know, you just set up a meeting and you just come and have a tasting. I think every product deserves an audience, and if your product is made the right way and it appeals to the wider audience out there, it's got an equal opportunity to be on one of our menus, man. So yeah, we are really excited about a number of South African products out there. So anybody is open to come through.
Fantastic. That's my brother joining us from the Saxon Group. I know it's a very hectic night for you. You've got guests from all over the world, but thank you so much, and I'll be looking forward to seeing my wine on your list very soon, Mr. Lloyd. Do the right thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a moment. I think this show is very important because ENCA has to dedicate time to let us, real people, on grassroots, middle class, affluent level, to vocalize what's happening out there. Yes, there are more current affairs happening. We know what's happening in Cape Town. All that can wait. We need distribution. We need products out there. We'll be right back. My name is Tbo Touch.